What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Armaret, bringing you once again the first gameplay on each of the 4 maps in the new Black Ops 2 Revolution map pack. This right here is just a glimpse of the glitch that has occurred that I've found so far. So if you get the map packs, you get the Peacekeeper gun. Though every single time you leave the game and come back in, as of right now, you have to re-equip that gun into your class. If not, it gets replaced with, I think, the last gun that was used, last SMG that is equipped but in another class. So for me, it happens to be the Vector. So hopefully this gets rectified rather soon, because if not, every time you come into the game, you have to re-equip the Peacekeeper into your classes. So that aside, let's get into what I think of the grind map. And this, I don't even know what to say. This map to me is by far my least favorite of any map put out in Black Ops 2, probably even close to Modern Warfare 3. It is just, I applaud what they did in their attempt with color, but it reminds me too much of Carnival. If you remember Modern Warfare 2, you know, everybody was complaining that we needed color. So what did they bring us? They brought us Carnival, one of the worst maps ever created. The colors were so bright and popping that you couldn't make out enemy players. There were so many ridiculous paths that came from nowhere and led to nowhere, that you were constantly being flanked no matter how much map control and domination that you had. And it was more frustrating than fun to play on. And that, in a nutshell, is what my problem is with grind. Now, in all fairness, the team we were going up against was a good team. But with that being said, the sheer amount of routes, flanks, hidden areas, jump spots in this map, it completely reverts back to the Modern Warfare 3 style of map making. And if you remember a few videos back in my series, I think it was Hydra, I explained that when Call of Duty 4 came out, and even 2, Modern Warfare 2, there was a left side, a right side, and a middle, and that was how all the maps were laid out. And then you could flank on either the 2 sides to go up the middle. Allowed one team to establish domination and control, and it was a tug of war fight, sometimes on symmetrical maps, sometimes not. And then Modern Warfare 3, in their attempt to make it fast-paced, gun-on-gun action, whatever the hell they wanted to call it, it was crap. They pretty much took that simple design of 3 paths and they just made it a curlicue, pardon my language, a clusterfuck of paths that you could take, such that no matter how much control you had, you were always being taken by somebody else from behind. And the only time that wasn't happening is when you caught them in one of their god-awful spawns. You know, one of the spawn glitches that they had where they spawned them in the same spot no matter what. And that's what this map is, and you'll see it time and time again, where I'll sit there and I'll be going up one path, I'll have 2 enemies behind me, 1 guy to my right, and then somebody shows up behind all of us, and it's in our own spawn point. And then you even notice with the many different paths that I take, and I get it, that the point is it's supposed to be a skate park with tons of ramps, and you know, and if anybody's ever been to a big skate park, you really can't see from one side to the other. But this is just too much. I mean, you have this middle area which has a section in the middle which you would think would be a good easy place to cap, because they did put a barricade right there in front of B. The only problem is you have a path behind you, a path in front of you, a path beside you, and there's like 3 or 4 different ways to get to each of those paths, making trying to take B pretty much a complete and total death trap, much like the rest of the other B dominations in Black Ops 2, which is one thing that I'm not a big fan of, because the harder you get it, make it to take B, the less inclined people are to take it, thus making it more lopsided and frustrated. And I thought in the first 3 maps in this map pack, your Hydro, your Downhill, and your Mirage, they did a great job of making it such that you could take it over. Not impossible to do, but it's also not exactly the easiest thing to do, if you catch my drift. And I understand that this review is just an awful lot of complaining, and I understand that some people, you know, on the outside are looking at this review or this map and thinking maybe that my lack of joy in this map was a direct result of how my team did. And to that, I promise you, it's not at all like that. And I think Hutch actually equates this map to Alcaden in the last Call of Duty. And to that, I kind of see what he's referring to, in which you have central pockets of places. But once again, in Alcaden, you had almost 3 or 4 distinct sections. You had the shopping mall, then you had Middle Plaza, and in Middle Plaza I'm going to include Staircase and Ball, and then you had Parking Garage and Back Alley. And it was 4 distinct sections, but the pathways into those 4 distinct sections were clear and distinct. You know, Parking Garage, Back Alley, you had 2 staircases and 2 entranceways. Then main lobby or main courtyard, you can come from multiple angles, but it was open enough such that, you know, you could see things coming. And then the mall was a little bit more of a cluster because you did have escalators, sliding glass doors, and then you did have emergency exit. But you know, you could get some reasonable resemblance of a map control, and you could get some sense of feeling of protection when you had your teammates around you. This map just not at all, because in the dead center of the map, not only, and this is one of the frustrating things, is it's on, I believe, it's not C, it's on A, there is like a spiral staircase that dumps out right in front of it. So you could be sitting there trying to capture a flag, and you could have the behind you covered, then the 3 paths in front of you covered. Oh wait, there's a 4th, and that is a spiral staircase that you can't even see the person in, but they can see you if they come from the right angle. And then whoever's brilliant idea that it was to put a car right next to the flag on C, and only C, not A. You know, if you're gonna do it and you're gonna try to at least make it fail, make it symmetrical. Put a damn car next to A like you put a damn car next to C, to give somebody that same opportunity to blow it up on you. You know, why they thought, you know, that an explodable car is a good barricade to protect you when you're trying to capture a flag is absolutely ridiculous. So I guess, you know, when it comes to, you know, what is my scoring on this map, on a scale of 1 to 5, it's absolutely, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised when I give it, you know, a 1.5. See, I won't be a complete jerk. I won't give it a 1. I'll give it a 1.5. You know, I did appreciate the innovation, which you can run up the ramp and then jump, a la if you were on Ninja Warrior. That was kind of cool. That's about it. Maybe, you know, I don't like what they chose for cover. I don't like the 60,000 different flanking routes instead of, you know, 3. You know, I'm not a big fan of the incredibly bright popping colors that make it difficult to see the enemy. You know, but I have to say, you know, when you evaluate a map pack in general, you get 4 new maps, a gun for multiplayer, and then 2 new things, a new map and a new game mode for zombies. This is definitely a worth your buy. Not for this map, but for the other 3 maps and for the zombie stuff. I shall have stuff on the zombies in the upcoming days. But if you were even hesitating, I highly recommend you get this. It is a lot of fun, and thank you so much for stopping by.